Good evening, everybody. Sorry. I got the wrong agenda. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our July 14th council meeting. I'll call the meeting to order at 7:01. The adoption of the agenda. Please add 15.2 personnel matter. Yes, I know there's a verbal update, but I also have one. Is there any other? No additions? Okay. Could I have someone move it then, please? Councillor Librion, all in favor? Carried. The adoption of minutes. Is there any errors? If not, could someone please move the minute? Deputy Mayor, sorry.
So starting at 6.1, I know that we were looking to ratify some old resolutions from Committee of Whole. I'm just have a question regarding the resolution numbering. So starting at 6.1, we go back to resolution 013, then 004, 005, 019. And I don't know if those are out of number. They would have then moved every resolution since then by a comparable number of, so I'm wondering whether or not we should just include them as resolutions in the last meeting and just in the order. So the resolution 01325 would likely be resolution 177. I'm not sure we can go back and insert previous resolution numbers.
CAO?
Through your worship, we are able to make clerical amendments to the resolution numbers, Deputy Mayor.
Okay,
We
but
can
I didn't
correct
go
those.
back and compare. I just want to
Compare,
make sure. So these are out of order. So we went from 013 back to 004, 005. Then we jumped to 019, then 011, 012. So then there's a 020.
So through your worship, we will investigate and bring it back to council with the explanation for it.
Okay, so I'll move to table these minutes to the next meeting.
Okay. Any other corrections that you see? Okay. All in favor of tabling them to the next council meeting? Carried. So my mayor's report, we did have a member roundup for CRAW, the Community Rail. So the Community Rail Advocacy held a membership meeting to review and discuss what we've been doing for the past 4 months. We have these meetings every 4 to 5 months. The meeting also featured 2 presentations. One was from CN, and CN presented an overview of their current initiatives, recent developments, and future plans. Then we had a presentation by Rocky Mountain Railway, which is a short line company, and they offered some really valuable insights into the operations and the challenges of short line rail. Rocky Mountain Railway is actively expanding into Alberta and into Western Canada, and they now operate 10 lines across Canada. And they are currently developing a partnership in the heartland with Red Deer. On average, their rail lines span about 84 to 100 kilometers. They're called last mile. And they generate approximately $47 million in revenue. which is significantly smaller than CN's 6 billion. But they offer ways to get your products to port a lot faster, not depending on CN. So they would be short line rails. So we're looking at those. Of particular note to our community, I inquired with CN, our representative Julianne Thrillfall, about specific infrastructure upgrades in our region, because as you recall, I told you that CN was putting 510 million into Alberta, which isn't a lot when you're speaking rail, but the majority of this money is going to go to Edmonton and their intermodal line, as well as the double tracking through the Edson corridor. So in contrast, our region is only seeing routine maintenance such as rail tie replacement and rail crossing upgrades. And Julianne did indicate that any significant upgrades in our area would cost several millions of dollars, maybe into the billion, because of the trestle bridges. So I guess we're not getting any money this year or any upgrades this year or in the future. I did contact her and say, okay, what exactly are we getting from Manning to Hay River? And I haven't heard any comment from her. Boreal Housing, I had a meeting with them. We adopted our 3-year plan. We sent a letter to Minister Nixon expressing support for opening our Type B security facility. Administration also sent an email requesting the use of high levels income threshold for Fort Vermilion. And Boreal Housing Foundation acknowledged a receipt of a letter from Mackenzie County expressing interest in acquiring our vacant lots within the floodplain. The board agreed to proceed with the sale of 8 of these lots for the amount equivalent to the property taxes that we had to pay in 2024. And Canada Day, what an incredible day. So thank you to the whole team. They all came together and we had a fun-filled Canada Day, flipping hot dogs, water fights, and all the others. Huge shout out to our grill masters, Deputy Mayor and Councillor Lebrion, who sizzled up close to 2,400 hot dogs. So that's some serious work, guys, so thank you. A massive thank you to everyone who participated in the parade. Your community spirit really made it a highlight of the day. Thanks to all the vendors who added that extra spark. We could shop in the park. And a loud cheer for Soul Smash, who played, and they absolutely rocked the park. Like, it was incredible to see the amount of people there. On a more somber note, after lighting up High Level, Soul Smash's vehicle was broken into while they were doing a concert in Edmonton, and they lost $6,000 worth of equipment. They have set up a GoFundMe under Soul Smash on Facebook. If anyone wants to donate, please do so. These guys have been absolutely fantastic in the north, and they are from the north, and they're now breaking into Saskatchewan and southern Alberta. So it would be great if you could lend a hand. Please do by going to their Facebook page. And that is all I have to report, other than the rodeo, which isn't part of council, but another fantastic event that went on in High Level, another crowd-breaking day. Like, I only went Saturday, but they sold out their dance at 500 people, and the stands were full. So it was really amazing. So go High Level. And that's my report. If anyone wants to ask me questions. Nope. Can I have someone move my report?
I'll move the mayor's report.
Thank you, Councillor Wilkie. All in favor? Carried. Council reports. Thank you for the addition of our council reports, but I think there's a few missing. I think we have like 30 council committees, and there's only 10 on these 2 pages. So,
Through your worship, we can investigate. I was away at the time and report back and
Yeah.
do the remainder of the committees.
yeah, this was kind of something that has been on Councillor Welke's mind for a long time. And it was great to see them back, but we are missing a few.
All right, we'll look and trying to find out
Thank
where
you.
we can get the information. Thanks.
So moving on to council reports, Deputy Mayor.
All I have to report is the Canada Day festivities, and kudos to Director Clark and her staff, all of the volunteers that came out, and yeah, it was a good day. Good to talk to lots of people, so great job.
Except you were tied to the hot dog machine.
2 years ago, I think we cooked 3,800 hot dogs.
Oh,
but we
really?
also had to individually unwrap all of those ones, which was more challenging.
All right, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Lambert.
On July 1st, I also attended the Canada Day festivities, and to echo what the mayor had said, it was a fantastic event put on, and I was very surprised to see how many people were there too. It was really good to see. The parade was awesome, and yeah, thanks to all the staff who took part in that, to everybody that came out. On July 8th, I also attended a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and that is all I have to report.
Thank you. Councillor Lebrion.
On June 26th, I had a high-level library board meeting and then Canada Day festivities. And like everybody else said, great job. It was a great turnout from the town. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you. Councillor Welke.
June 24th, I had an FASD Society AGM and our audit, and it's all good. I am now vice chair on that board, along with Karen Kirby, who's the chair. Anna McCaskill has vacated. But just an update there, the old Bare Necessities building is now fully renovated and fully functional, and all the programming for, kids programming and everything is happening in there now. So it's a great addition to the facility there, and it's quite nice if anybody, ever wants to stop by and see it. It's really a nice big open space for the kids and for their programming. June 25th, Community Futures meeting. Again, we had our annual audit for that board as well, and that organization. Everything's good with regards to both those committees that I'm on. I also received word back from the RAC, the Regional Advisory Committees for Alberta Health. They're finally getting up and running. They were officially announced this past Friday. The orientation sessions run throughout July, August, and September to learn about the new organizations. So maybe we'll get rolling in like October or something like that. So, but yeah, no, there's a variety of individuals around the region on it, and it looks like it'll be very interesting. And have our ear to the health care system from council. I think that is about it for me. I was unable to attend Canada Day. My measles immunity did not show up on Alberta Netcare, so I got quarantined until I could prove that I actually so actually I would recommend to everybody right now with the outbreaks going on, if you don't know about your measles immunity, get it checked out, because I had to just have a serology test done to show that my MMR was good or that my immunity was good, but kind of late for it not affecting my day-to-day. So I would highly recommend to anyone to check it out, and if it's not there, get the serology done And then if it still doesn't show up, you'd have to actually get your shots. So, but most people have had them. It's just the records on Alberta Net Care for immunizations for Albertans are not comprehensive, especially if you've come out from out of province too. Maybe things aren't showing up. So you could get that phone call if somebody was in the town office or something. They could call and start interviewing everybody. And I have heard of other places losing a lot of staff for it's 21 days until you can prove your immunity. And if you can't, like if my serology wouldn't have shown up, I would have had to stay home for 21 days.
Is that because you're a pharmacist?
No, just there happened to be a positive case that had come into our business. So they identified me. I would say that their contact tracing is a little bit flawed. It's, like how robust or extensive it is. It's hard to say, but upon my interview and checking my net care, could not find it, so I had to have the testing done. Showed up fine, so I didn't have to then wait and then go get shots. But if it doesn't, if you're not immune, then you have to wait the 21 days and then you have to get your shots afterwards. So it's a pretty big deal. Kind of reminded me of something that happened just a few years ago, but it almost seemed worse because it's just pockets of people. But up here, it's especially prevalent. I think I read a headline today that Alberta cases have surpassed all of the U.S. cases for measles. So, anyways,
Did you skip that day at school or something when you had to line up for your measles?
No, I had it. That's why when I had my serology done, my immunity's there. It's just there was no proof of it. So they check they just check your teachers to see if you are immune to it, if your antibodies are present. So yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways, little bit of advice for everyone. That's all I have to report.
Thank you. Could I have someone move council reports then, please? Council Librion, all in favor? Carried. Administrative report, CAO.
Good evening, Your Worship and Council. I worked with staff and consultants to address the deficiencies identified in the 2023 airport upgrade project. I am happy to report that we reached an agreement and all the deficiencies will be covered by the contractor's insurance, and the work has begun at the beginning of this month. Also, since the departure of the Director of Planning and Development, I have stepped in to provide interim oversight of the department. I have been working closely with staff and consultants to ensure the continuity of daily operations, and my responsibilities have included managing departmental functions and reviewing and approving a variety of planning applications, such as development permits, development variance applications, and this to support the ongoing development and maintain service standards. Also collaborated with staff and consultants to develop and implement a budget process that align with best practices, complies with all statutory requirements, and promotes transparency and public engagement. The process was designed to ensure residents have clear opportunities to observe, participate, and provide feedback at key stages, fostering accountability and community involvement. I also worked closely with Minister Williams and Deputy Minister Sandberg of Municipal Affairs, whose support was instrumental in helping the town recover reserve funds used to assist evacuees during the 2023 and 2024 wildfire seasons. So to date, the town has successfully recovered $1,751,926 and is awaiting an additional reimbursement of $671,295. I also reviewed recent legislative changes introduced by the province, including Bills 18, 33, 34, 50, and 54, which are expected to significantly impact municipal operations and require substantial staff time to implement. Administration is currently analyzing the amendments and associated regulations as they become available. A detailed report outlining the implications for the town will be presented to council at the earliest opportunity. Also worked closely with staff to develop clear, consistent public messaging on a range of municipal priorities and initiatives. And I have overseen and managed a wide range of responsibilities over the past 2 weeks, with these tasks representing just a portion of the key initiatives undertaken to support statutory requirements, municipal operations, and community development. And I welcome any questions.
Question? Deputy Mayor?
Do we have any update on the 2023 financial and audit?
Through your worship, we do not have an update at this point. We submitted all the information that the auditors required, and I've been informed that they had been here at the beginning of last year, I believe in the spring, and then they received some information, and now they're comparing what they initially received with the adjustments we've made, and also going through all the documentation, and they haven't been able to provide us with a timeline yet.
Do we ask them to give us an update at our next meeting?
We have been asking them to give us an update. I can turn this over to our Director of Finance to add any additional information.
We've had difficulties with 2023. Like the CEO said, they had to come in and start afresh, familiarizing themselves with our financial procedures and filing documentation, and they found that the start is with a qualified report, which means they have to go in and investigate to make sure we are in compliance, and all that is required to achieve that is rigorous. On my coming on, it turned out that they had stopped working on our files around from the last time documents were presented, and everything that was presented to them seems to have irregularities or incomplete or inaccuracies in them. So we, the staff, had to work hard to make sure that we are exploring all due diligence to make sure that we do not have another qualified financial report this time. A lot of reconciliations, a lot of data cleanup, and also process reviews. It's not going to be easy, but we believe that this time around our report will come out without being qualified, and when that is done, we are hopeful that 2024 will be expedited based off good, proper documentations. So still contacted them today, and they're still working on it. We are in collaboration with them on a daily basis, and doing all we can to expedite action on that.
Can we, on an interim basis, get the information that was provided to them for 2023 so that we can, there's got to be an overview or something that was provided to them that council could look at? Like, we haven't seen any of this stuff in 2 years. So I would like to have a look.
Best practices is that data that are in work in process is not report, because whatever we give to you is either inaccurate, incomplete, or invalid. If any of that fail, if it's not complete, then it's inaccurate, then it's invalid. If it's incomplete, then it's invalid and it's not accurate. And if it's invalid, then it's neither complete nor accurate. So those three pillars must stand together. And from financial point of view, it is not advisable that we present anything that we cannot substantiate with all confidence. It's of no use to give a report that will be adjusted in the next minute. It doesn't show any true or fair representation of the transactions that have been recorded.
Presumably any of the information we've given them we believe to be accurate, so.
Well, that's why we have year-end adjustments, because in our systems, it's accurate. But when it's fed into a case where there's always compliances that needs to be reviewed. And that is why they certify that it's been reviewed and present a true and fair view of whatever had happened in the nature of transaction processing within the organization. So I'll beg your indulgence to give us a little bit more patient time, and we'll be sure that what we give to you is accurate. This will be put behind us because we're not just presenting a process, we are bringing in best practices to ensure that things are done with all those periods in consideration. So it's been tough, but please, we beg you to just exercise a little bit more patience with us.
You have the unqualified audit.
From 2023.
Yeah, you do.
I haven't seen it.
Unqualified. Oh,
I haven't seen anything.
oh, no, we don't. Sorry, from 2022.
About 2.5 years ago. No, I'm just thinking that at this point, at least speaking for myself, that I would like to see something. Whether it's what the final numbers are going to be, I would just like to have some confidence where the town is. We're moving forward some capital projects. I'd like to see us move forward in other capital projects. And so if we're waiting for them, at some point, we have to rely on our own numbers. So I would like to see that at the next meeting. I'd also like to see a current update on where we are this year budget in terms of actual spent and unspent. And we used to get those on a monthly basis, so.
You want to see the ledger? We used to get those prior to the last administration, a full one that somebody decided wasn't the best practice. And then we got little blurbs that were inaccurate. So I don't know, do we want accurate information or inaccurate?
Well, at this point, I would like to see something, and then once we have the audits, we'll know how accurate it is, and then on a go-forward basis, we can see these on a monthly basis, but we've seen zero in.
To your worship, inaccurate information is as good as no information, unfortunately. And again, it puts us in a situation where we are exposed to substantial reputational risk, which is already bad as it were. Like I said, we believe we are at the end of this process, and you should have something soon. And we keep pushing, and we believe that we presented them everything they need. We've done a lot of back and forth, but a lot of adjustments, a lot of reconciliation, a lot of data cleanup, a lot of data updates. The file is complete with them. They're just working on it. Whatever we give to you today is as irrelevant as what you've not had.
So the 2025 year-to-date would be irrelevant?
I believe you're talking about the financial report.
Well, it was, but then I'm also asking for where we are in the 2025 budget. We have our budget, what have we expended, what have we not expended?
We will
used to see
speak.
that on a monthly basis.
Yeah, we will work on that and try and see what we can get out for you. But we just want to make sure that whatever you have is something that is reliable. At least, barest minimum, it must meet those criteria. It must be complete, it must be accurate, and it must be valid.
So he's not looking for the audit. He now wants a financial statement for 2025.
He's asking for the budget performance or budget update. I'm saying we will do all we can to provide that.
Pardon me?
We'll do all we can to make sure that
Okay.
that is brought forward to you.
Thank you.
Sorry, our accounting software, is that not just you hit a button for a report?
Our accounting software are dated and currently going through update. Both the Quisica and the Diamond and a lot of models within those systems are not functional. We're with consultants and what soon should be having that ready to have immediate reporting. Our Diamond does not pull any financial report. So far now, even bank reconciliation is being done manually. We're already talking to them to make sure that those models come in place. This is the first organization I work with where financial systems do not have such basic models functioning. So there's a lot of dated processes, manually based, which also explains why we have the irregularity, because The system is supposed to be a tool that helps guide those principles to see that it's complete, accurate, and valid. So a lot of work is being done by administration, and the CAO has been supportive to provide the support for us to get approval for us to get those systems updated. And we are confident that once that is done, we will have a smoother ride with our financial reporting.
Any other questions of the CAO? I just have one. The legislative changes, the ones that I sent you on FOIP, did you review those?
Yes, it's part of
And
the.
do we have to make our own privacy policy?
I'm still yes, policy for sure. I'm still looking into see if we have to create a whole policy procedure and system. So that's the piece that I will get confirmation and will form part of the report that I intend to bring at a later date for council's consideration.
Okay, thank you. Could I have someone move the CAO's report, please?
I'll move.
Councillor Welke, all in favor? Carried. So moving on to the water treatment borrowing bylaw, CAO.
Through your worship, the bylaw was put on the agenda to receive the second and third readings.
And are you going to go over it or somebody? So the
Through your
people
worship,
in
I'll
the
turn it over
audience
to the Director of Operations. He can speak to it.
There we go. Speak to the borrowing bylaw.
Yes, please.
This time I can't speak to it. I'm not familiar with the work that's been done previously by other individuals.
Through your worship, this bylaw was presented for first reading, and this was a project initiated that I was just filling in to help to move forward. And this, I don't have the bylaw in front of me.
Okay, well, I'll go through it then.
Yes, sorry.
So the MIAC's water treatment borrowing bylaw, so it's a bylaw because the town is about to incur some indebtedness because we did receive a grant to upgrade our water treatment plant, water, the taste and everything. We did receive $3,379,000, so we are going to debenture $2,338,701 for a total cost of $5,714,000. So in order to complete this project, the town has to complete a borrowing bylaw for the sum that we are going to debenture. We've already received first reading. There is no new information coming forward, is there? So could I have someone move second reading of this borrowing bylaw? Oh.
So the project is complete, ready to go ahead. I know we were doing some further investigation to make sure it was gonna seamlessly integrate with our system.
Through your worship, again, I would have to turn it over to the Director of Operations. He's the lead of this project.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So recently we meet every 2 weeks to look at the overall project. Right now we've hired a contractor through the design portion to ensure that the contractor has input in the final design. There is some further investigation we'd like to look at with the factory. The intended current, I guess, work plan would be to have the design finished by the end of August with the next contract coming out, which will be the construction period, and the estimated start of demolition of the existing facility we'll be looking at right around the beginning of November, with completion late January. And then following in February, we'll start immediately with the installation of the new equipment. So it's well on track, and it's so far going very well.
Thank you. I'll move second reading.
All in favor of second reading? Carried. Could I have someone move third reading, please? Councillor Lebrion? All in favor? Carried. Moving on to the terms of reference for reliable air access.
Through your worship, I will turn it over to the Director of Corporate Services to speak to this.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Essentially, not too much to follow up with you about. Of course, this was a conversation that was raised by the mayor at the last regular meeting, where the mayor expressed some concerns specific to the reliability of air service and the air service schedule. We as staff, as a collective, basically compiled the notes of what you had said that evening, Mayor, and developed the terms of reference, and then combined those with other minutes that other task force terms of reference that we've had. I think you'll notice, I'm not sure, I'm hoping you, or I'm looking forward to your feedback, I guess is a better way of saying it, around the development of the terms of reference, around the the specialist medical services. And that's intentional on our part, strategic in nature, to highlight the importance of that particular service to the community. Versus the reliability of the air service for tourism to get to the community, for instance. So be interested in your feedback if you're agreeing to that approach, or whether you have other ideas. At this point, I'm completely open to any feedback you have, things you like or dislike about the terms of reference, things you'd like to see changed, etc.
No, I like the terms of reference, other than I don't think we should have local healthcare providers and clinic administration for consideration. I do believe we need a person from AHS, which would be probably Angie Mann. The specialist physicians, of course, we can get input from them, but I don't think they should be on the membership, because they don't even reside here in High Level. We're advocating on their behalf, but I don't think that Central Mountain Air will sit on there. We might get, some input from them. I can't even get an email back from them, so. The Ministry of Health, I don't think we need them there. Or, they're gonna be people that we're gonna go to. The task force will lobby. The same with transportation and economic corridors. And I think having two counselors and myself might fulfill the patient or community person, because at some point, someone in this 3 groups might not be on council next year, so they will just fill into that group, because this task force goes over 6 months. That would be as for, I do believe for sure that Luke needs to be on there because he's the one with all the knowledge of the landings and. Other than that, we do have like when we do form task force, also part of the, financial would be the $50 per diem per meeting for community members. So I don't know what sort of budget this would set up. I know you say it's not, it's not in our budget, but I guess we'd have to come up with some financial budget for this group.
Thank you. I would, if there is a budget for council to use for committees, then I'll just verify that budget amount and brings that information forward. I guess with everything you've said, are you anticipating me bringing back a revised version for August, or are you looking to get started sooner than the August meeting with your task force?
I would like to see us send out letters. I can't see this being too onerous. CAO, what's your?
Through your worship, at this point, we don't have enough information of how many members, how many meetings, what, like,
Well, he's compiled a,
so how often do you want to meet? What kind of support will we, admin support will we need?
in the terms of reference, he's put every 2 weeks to 3 weeks at certain points.
Are you agreeable to that?
Yeah, well, I'm only one vote.
Like the council, is council agreeable to that? So I wonder if maybe we should take it back, revise the terms of reference and bring all the like check our budget first and see how much we have in the budget to cover the per diems that you spoke of. And then so council can make an informed decision at that time. And then in the meantime, provide additional feedback of what you're thinking.
Okay,
and we
I'm
can
going to
refine
draft a
this.
letter so it can go out immediately, inviting people to this task force the moment that it gets off the ground, because our August meeting isn't till mid-August. Like, I don't want this task force to drag on for a year, because time is of the essence. Like, we're losing specialists as we speak because of our unreliable air service.
Yeah.
So, council, have you looked at the terms of reference, and is there any questions, things that you would like to see revised? Go ahead, Councillor Lambert.
I was just going to bring up this with membership, and yeah, you had mentioned taking a few of them out of there, but one of the ones that I would like to see in there is just a member from the chamber as some representation
Absolutely.
for the local businesses in town. This is a topic that comes up quite frequently at our meetings, so I think it'd be important to have a representation there as well.
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I think it's important that we sort of get the show on the road here. I would like to see it to be general air service, but this will have spillover effect to that in any event. But I'd be prepared to move the terms of reference as amended by the mayor's comments and Councillor Lambert's. And I don't think this is going to be a huge cost, that if it turns out there's nothing in the budget to fund it from general reserves, I would like to see this started. Like, I don't want to lose a month. It may take the summer to recruit people to sit on this, but I would like to see it sort of hit the ground running at the end of August, beginning of September, when people are back. Yeah, I wouldn't want to lose another month, and the overall budget for this thing's gonna be, $10,000 or maybe, right?
Yeah, like, I don't think,
Yeah,
I don't anticipate it being,
Well, I'm talking about including administrative costs and all the rest, like, it's an important task.
yes.
Thank you. Through your worship, I think from a operating or from a project cost perspective, what we're talking about, what I've heard tonight is the per diems. And then, as I've highlighted in the report, administrative costs relating to who will take minutes, which we can, again, take the number of meetings times that and calculate it. And then the unknown is probably in the end the deliverable that council's going to want in terms of a report, and who is going to write that. Is that something that's going to be done by staff, or are we going to ask a consultant agency to produce a report? We do have in-house, strong in-house journalists, writers that we can lean on, but council may want to have a consultant firm. So those are the unknowns at this point.
I don't think we need a consulting firm. We have strong people that can write reports. So, I don't anticipate, I mean, if it's too, if people taking minutes, if it's too much setting up the agenda, I can do that. I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, we're looking to attract, we're not looking for a laborious report and consulting report. I'm looking at going to Yellowknife and speaking, to people that fly from Yellowknife. Those are the airlines we want to target because they fly right over us. I'm not going after WestJet or anything, so.
I can have the terms of reference revised within 48 hours.
Okay, perfect. And I will formulate a letter and send it to you that we send to individual people, asking them to be a part of this. So is everybody good with the rest of the?
Yes.
Okay. Could I have someone move it with the, oh, Boyd already did, sorry. All in favor of deputy mayors? Carried. Okay, disposal of the tender.
Through your worship, I will turn it over to the Director of Emergency Services.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. At the June 23rd regular council meeting, council inquired about the status of the sale of our old fire department water tender, Tender 1. Last year, during the summer, we received the new replacement tender after council approved its purchase for the 2024 budget. During that time, we kept that tender in service, awaiting the arrival of the Public Works tender and getting it equipped and so on. And due to the hazard last year, we actually kept that truck into service and we used it a number of times. Now that the major portion of our hazard season this year has passed, we feel comfortable enough of moving on with the disposal of that truck now that the Public Works tender is fully in service and equipped, and we've operated with it as a fire department now. We have brought this report to council to dispose of it. Our disposal surplus policy states that any disposal of asset of a value of over $10,000 requires council approval, so that's why we're bringing this report to you. We have not had a resolution from council as of yet to dispose of this asset. We did do a estimate last year with our fire truck company that sold us the other apparatus and as our service company, and they verbally gave us an estimate between $100,000 and $125,000 would be an approximate value of that truck. We've compared that against current trucks on the market, although there isn't a lot in Canada, but we've compared it against US market sales, and we feel that this is a fair price for that unit. Our intention is to advertise it as we have in the past with other vehicles to the Alberta Fire Chiefs Association marketplace. It has a good wide coverage of Alberta. It hits every fire chief in the province, and it's viewed across Western Canada. We could also push other fire chiefs associations as well, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, BC, and so on. But right now we're just looking for a a resolution to dispose of the unit.
So this was a 2024 price?
Correct. Yeah, it's when we got the last estimate from the fire truck manufacturer. And that was a verbal estimate. And it has had very little use since then. It's been out on a few calls. We deployed it once for a few days, but we just had it serviced in June. It passed its pump test. So like there hasn't been any significant change. So we feel that the price is still accurate.
Is this the truck with the cracked?
Yeah, the repair
Tank?
tank, correct, yeah.
And so there, it still has a price of that?
Yeah, current trucks that don't have the same issues are selling anywhere between 150 and 200,000. So we feel 100,000 to 125,000 is a fair price, considering a new water tender now is 700,000 plus. The current pricing of the used ones are still fairly high.
So do they, do you have an appraiser?
We did not get a formal appraisal because of the cost of getting the truck to the appraiser, or the appraiser bringing the appraiser up here.
And what's,
So we've just used it based on current market conditions is what we've come up with the pricing.
and does that include, that they know that this truck has been stripped of everything?
Yep,
except-
correct. Yeah, that's just the truck.
What's the cost of bringing an appraiser up?
I honestly don't know. I'm taking a conservative guess of about $2,500 to get an appraiser up here and back.
So when we don't get verbal reports on what we're paying when we buy these fire trucks, are we? Like when we purchase a fire truck, don't we get,
Yeah, we get a quote and
Yeah,
an
yeah.
actual spec. The only way we could get a actual
quote?
like estimate, an appraisal, is to send it. We would have had to send it to their shop and have it like run through. So while the tech was up here, that's how we received the estimate. So the tech was here, he looked at it, we talked with the sales people that we work with to buy the other two trucks, and they provided us with, hey, this is what the market is right now on these current trucks, because they were aware of the condition of the truck because they repaired it. So that's how we got that estimate. So I feel confident that that's a fairly good price for that truck.
So when we get stuff appraised at the landfill, do they come here or do we ship the equipment to them? When we had appraisals done?
No, we had shipped, so you're talking about that Tana compactor.
Yeah.
It was at the dealer in Grand Prairie when they did that. So here, it's, regardless of what an appraisal may come back at, it's whatever someone's prepared to pay and whether we're prepared to sell it for that. So I think by having the reserve in here, we're well protected that we're not giving this thing away, and who knows, maybe it'll go for 150. So I'm not concerned that we don't have an appraisal.
Councillor LeBrun.
I know, I was just prepared to move option number one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jan.
Just a
Are
question.
you in a hurry?
No, I don't think it's a bad idea.
So if council approves the definition of just like if we were approving the sale, that doesn't fall under then the same definition of disposal, right?
That is the same definition, yeah.
Okay.
When we say dispose, it means sell. It means remove the asset from our inventory.
Okay, so then with that definition, I do see further down that other options for disposal include the donation. If it turned out that we weren't getting any traction with the sale and it was thought that maybe we should just donate that, would that come back to council, or does this approval for disposal cover everything and that it could just be then donated without coming back to council?
No, with the motion that's on the floor currently, if we could not achieve the $100,000, we would bring it back to council for further consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it's worth 100,000, we're not gonna donate it.
Well, but I mean, the definition of disposal, it covers everything, right? So I'm just asking the question.
Did you have a question? Oh. Are you watching? Your thing was on.
It didn't come on.
All right, there is a motion on the floor. All in,
What, was it actually like motioned?
Yeah, I made the motion for option number 1. That council approve the sale of a tender through a sealed bid process with the reserve bid of 100,000.
125. Friendly amendment. All in favor? Carried. Oh, you're not in favor of your motion? Still have to
necessarily.
vote.
Weirder things have happened.
All right, on to correspondence for action, in that is a letter of support for the Hospital Foundation in Grand Prairie. Any questions on that? I think it's a great idea, like, it's like Compassion House or Ronald McDonald, or, so I think it's an excellent idea, because I know that people that go into Edmonton, they pay like $40 a night at Compassion House instead of hotel rooms. So I think we should definitely send a letter of support for this facility. They haven't asked for money yet. Yes, here's.
Through your worship, I just wanted to inform council that Mr. Bond was planning on being here tonight to provide a fulsome presentation about the project. He had coupled that trip with a trip to Mackenzie County, and they there was a late cancellation, and so he notified me last week that if he could pull out and then come and see council in the fall. So I just wanted council to be aware that he did intend on coming and meeting as a delegation before you to present on this topic.
Okay, thank you. It definitely aligns with our strategic goals. And this is a huge burden for people having to go out and stay, you know, to take chemo or stay in the hospital, their families, so I'm definitely in support of it. So I will make that motion to write a letter of support. Any other? All in favor? Carried. So correspondence for information, the items that are in there. Could I have someone move for information?
I'll move for information.
Thank you, Councillor Welke. All in favor? Carried. And internal correspondence? Any questions? Do you want to go over these reports,
Through your worship,
or you just
would
want?
council would like to go over the reports? I can turn it over to,
No, I think council has read them. They can ask their questions. I have a couple. What were the deficiencies in the park? Sorry, through the CAO.
I'll turn it over to the Director of Community Services.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, so WSP was up and they did surveying of Community Park. They did notice that some of the grading was not.
What?
The grading.
Oh, okay.
So in the soccer field area, it was off by 2 feet. They also noticed that the washroom wasn't in the right spot, and the concrete pad for the gazebo is a lot smaller than it needs to be, so the gazebo we have will not fit on the pad that we have. So I'm just working with them to see how we can correct those deficiencies.
Okay. And you wanted to talk about kinetics?
Yes, we also had Kinetics here, so they updated the building management system. They did notice that the main exhaust fan was offline, so once they got it back online, we did notice that the smell has gone away. We are keeping an eye on it, so if in case it is something else. We are also working with them to ensure that the building is balanced so that the heat is accurate in all the spaces. There was also a few other things. I don't want to touch on them because I don't have the report yet, but it has affected the heat in certain places in the building, like the library and the mechanics room and stuff like that.
So it was offline.
Yes.
So much for my theory.
Well, hopefully that was what it was.
Well, I didn't notice any smell when I came in here. So, well, that's good news. And also the benches look great on the walking trails. What is that space for?
So that extra space is actually for garbage cans. So the seniors decided to order garbage cans after the benches, so we made it so there was enough space for the garbage cans to fit when they come in.
And I've noticed people already using them, and so it's a good addition. I was looking at the bylaw report, and I've been walking quite a bit in town, and it's, there's only 2 work orders to clean up. Holy smokes, like that, the whole downtown needs to be cleaned up. Like, people need to weed whack in front of their buildings, and that between the post office and the our farm, the little farm building, like that is a disaster. So I think we need to get out there and get people cleaning up. Let me start by saying, wow, the parks are fantastic. Coming into town is fantastic, but when you get, you know, to McLeod's, it's just like a dive. So I think we need to send businesses the message, you know, like, pick out the weeds that are growing in front of your building. And in your parking lots. And cut the grass, because that makes the downtown look grubby. So I would like to see more cleanups. On another note, 2 on my street are fantastic this year. But any other comments? So, and that's all I had to say. Oh, maybe I didn't. The one on the utilities operation, I don't know, is this section of leaking heating pipe, is that in the town shop, or is it in the water treatment plant? It's under utilities. You know?
Through your worship, I will have to turn that over to the Director of Operations to speak to.
Am I there? Thank you, Madam Mayor. That is specifically within the water treatment plant heating system.
Okay,
It's nearing, I think it's nearing 40 years now, so we're starting to see some odd repairs show up.
is that 40 years? Come on, I'm not even that old. In the water treatment plant? That's not.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Yeah, so Madam Mayor, the original, it's actually over 40 years old. The original facility was from 1982, and we've retained that equipment, and then renovation was done around 2000, and all that equipment stayed, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that section of equipment is from that time.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering why the new building would be. All right, thank you for that. Councillor Lambert?
Just a comment on something that was brought to my attention with, I think, just with internal communications. I was told there was one of the events put on at the parks in town here. I'm not sure exactly which one it was. Something I'm assuming an FCSS program, and at the same time there was grass cutting happening with children running around. So I just think there needs to be maybe a little bit more internal communication on which days those are going to be happening, so we don't have that issue again.
Through your worship, thank you for your feedback.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no more questions, could I please have a motion to accept? Counselor Lambert? All in favor? Carried. So that's it for our public portion of our meeting. Thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions or complaints, please send them in and we will address them. So thank you for attending.
Closed session.
Yeah, we're moving in. Could I have a motion to move in camera, please?